Hey everyone, how's it going? Today I'm going to be covering something which I feel is extremely important in the game, especially if you're free to play or a low spender. I want to talk about Molagoras. So I think it's very important to know which character to take up to where. Let's look at Lone Wolf Piera as a first case example. Now, if we see in total, she needs 6 plus 6, 12 plus 15 levels, and some of them need multiple Molagors. So, for example, if I was to level up this champion completely, it would take up 9, 13 Molagoras on his first one, 15, 16, 18, 26 on 2, 20, 33 Molagoras to max her up completely. That's almost 50% of what I currently have, right? And these are very hard to come by. I believe in a week you get 3 or 4. On an average, in a month, through events and various things, you would pick up about 20 odd Molagoras, right? So that means you can't even max out one champion a day. Now, which are the skills you want to level up? So when you're looking at support types heroes, which Lone Wolf is, what you want to focus is on cooldowns. So her third skill has a 3 cooldown on 3 levels. Her second skill has a evasion. This is not really essential, right? Because he's starting with 35% evasion and you can add another 15%. Although it's nice, but not really essential. And her first skill, not really worth putting Molagoras into. So if you look at it, you can actually achieve the best out of this champion with 7, 8, 9, 11. 11 Molagoras is what I've spent. So one third the actual count. But now at the same time, when we look at somebody like a BBK, who's your typical damage dealer, here you need to max out to feel the full impact of the hero. That's why you can see I've maxed out all the skills. So be careful when you start building a champion up. I would recommend strongly finishing that champion before you start putting Molagoras into another uh, champion. This is essential. Let's look at Death Dealer A for example. Now again, he's a support type champion. Now I've maxed out his effect on the third skill because that gives them 100% chance. So this actually does become important, right? Because this is the main reason you're picking the champion, putting poison and dispelling buffs and putting them to sleep. So you want to have that effect chance maxed out. On the second skill, I went till the turn cooldown. Now getting another 3% combat readiness, is it good? Yes, it's good. But is it worth investing the Molagoras? I personally don't think so. On the skill one, now I think this was a mistake. There's no need to actually add any books here. 10% damage for a support is not really going to move mountains. Now let's take a mod for example. A mod I've completely maxed out. Why? The third skill, it has a turn cooldown and damage again. So he is a hybrid kind of champion who sustains your team as well as can dish out damage. So hence I have maxed out the third skill. On the second skill again, barrier strength is important. Now this is my most used champion. So the hence I Molagared him after using him almost for 20-25 days when I was 100% sure that this is the champion I'll need in multiple parts of the game. Here again, I've gone for the damage and the effect chance. Simply again, because I am using him as a mix. So he's got 100% crit rate, 200 speed, high on health. So he does damage through health. Higher the HP, more the damage. So I built him up this way. So it's important for him to get maxed out. But when we look at a Senya, for example, now again, here I have been maxing out very similar champion to your Mott. Again, does damage, also tanks for you, does multi-purpose. So all these multi-purpose champions, if you're using, you will have to max them Molagaras or you'll feel no impact. Like for example, who else can we look at? Yeah, let's look at some of the PvE characters. Now, Destina and Tamarin. Let's look at Tamarin. Tamarin is very widely used, but I've hardly used Molagara. So I use the turn cooldown. And this I've put in the healing and combat readiness. In hindsight, I wouldn't. It really doesn't make a difference. So I could have saved these books. And you can actually just use one Molagara on this champion and she's good to go. So it's important to understand what the purpose of the champion is and what you're planning to do with that particular champion before you go ahead and invest Molagoras, because they are extremely rare. When you start the game, you get plenty of them. That's what I thought initially, but as time goes on, you suddenly start to realize you are running out of them. So I have only 77 Molagoras now, whereas there was a time when I was sitting on about 130, 140. So yeah, that's about it for the video. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys soon.